background comes from commercial banking, because central bank is about policy. It is not about marketing. It is not about seeking profit. It is about getting monetary policies right with a clear focus on specific macroeconomic objectives, whether it is job creation, stabilizing the price regime, interest regime, exchange rate regime, or all of that. And listening to their CVs, people who have managed banks that have gone into liquidation, that cannot be used as a positive in their favor. The truth has to be told. I am not suggesting that any one of them is responsible. He said, part of what he said. What would you say about this?
Yes, I think Comrade Abdul Showole, as a patriotic Nigerian, you should also be concerned about the Nigerian economy. If you look at the various people that have manned the CBN as its governor,
Yes.
you will agree with me that bankers, accountants have never done well as CBN governors, while economists have done fantastically well whenever given the opportunity. You take an example from Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, you take from Panusi Lamido, look the economists, they did well. But I believe that Kadoto, coming from the banking background, will not be an impediment to his performance. Because I think beside that, Cardozo have also embarked on certain cash program. He also attended the Lagos Business School. He also is also a fellow. He's also an alumni of Harvard Kennedy School and so on. I think he has been able to upgrade himself and equip himself in that sector to be able to bring the needed reform and policy change that you desire. And if you look at his track record as Commissioner of Economic Planning and Budget in Lagos State, you will agree with me that Kadozo was one of the best performing commissioners under the leadership of Bola Ahmed Tinubu while he was governor of Lagos State between 1999 to 2010. And if you look at the cabinet of Bola Ahmed Tinubu there, only 4 commissioners were not removed of a shovel in his 8-year administration. So it means that his performance was satisfactory. It means that he has a passion for service and he is committed in any task given to him. I just believe that Kadozo will succeed and we should give him time. Even though most of us are of the opinion that the CBN should have been handled better by an economist. Because if you look at Emefiele was a monumental failure, and it is being attributed because of the background, because Emefiele came from the banking sector. And I believe those are some of the reasons why some Nigerians are being hard and already judgmental about Kadozo, even when he is yet to begin his official task. Thank you.
All right, now let's move to issue of forex, because you talked about forex, which we have a lot of backlog that he needs to settle, but he is here to tell us how to generate the funds to be able to buffer and stand to defend the naira against the US dollar, because late last week, I think last weekend, and also on Thursday this week, in some places like Lagos, the dollar exchange to the naira around 1,000 naira, at some point even 1,050 naira in the early hours of Thursday before 22nd, before settling for 990 in the evening, indicating a difference of 252 naira from the investor and exporter forex window, where the naira closed at 738. So what would you say about this, and how can we get out of the woods? Because it is a difficult situation that we found ourselves in this country when we talk about the issue of forex. We don't have sufficient power to defend our own currency, but a lot of people, experts are saying the administration of Tinubu hastened to float the currency when he knows that he doesn't have the strength to back the currency against other foreign currency, especially the US dollar, because we are a highly dollarized economy.
Yes. See, the challenge we have, not just Nigeria per se, third world country, our currency will keep on crashing to the dollar because of certain reasons. One, as a country, we import virtually everything, including crude we have, oil product we have. We export them, refine them, and re-import them. And whenever you are doing any business in the international market, the dollar is viewed as the currency there. As a third world country, our international debt keep on increasing on a daily basis. We keep on borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, which does not do well for. Today, it is very pathetic that as a country, we have so much forest, we import everything, including to big. So it is a very sad development. And all this, and the rate at which we import rather than export, and also affects our forex. Because you must be compelled to convert your currency to the dollar. And in their usual way, whenever you are converting, since their currency looks stronger, they will always look for a way to devalue your currency, either when you want to obtain loan from them.
So now, before let me interject you. Sorry, Mr. Comrade Biam. Now let's look at it. Are we good to say that the government made a wrong step because they already know the peculiarity of Nigeria being a dependent or import dependent country, that the demand of forex will continue to be on the increase, but they went ahead to float the currency? They already know that. So does that mean it's a failure on the part of the government?
I would not want to say it's a failure on the part of the government per se. It might also, I think the people in the economic team of Mr. President maybe have their own idea or strategy they believe if adopted to also help to strengthen the Naira. Because if you look at the way the Naira is going, there are certain fiscal and monetary policies and measures that must be adopted to ensure that the Naira bounce back. So I would not want to preempt what the economic team of Mr. President or the CBN government intends to do. I believe that they also have experience spanning over a decade or two.
But if we are to judge by antecedents, in this country, we have witnessed time and time again that whenever we come up with policies that we feel will be able to work for us to solve a particular problem, it doesn't do well in solving the problem. Just like, let me take our mind back to recently, the Godwin Emefiele's Naira policy redesign. It plunged Nigerians into hardship and suffering. At the end of the day, relatively, he said they have achieved part of what they want to achieve with the policy, but now it's kind of a total policy somersault because it has put Nigerians into a lot of hardship, businesses affected, and now the aim of saying that too much money is outside the vault of the bank, we've gone back to that particular position. So automatically, that decision is a policy somersault, and we have seen it time and over again. It happens in this country. Are we going to be optimistic that this time around is going to be anytime different? Because if you check into history, right from the Second Republic, when we had issue of, let's say, what do you call it, structural adjustment program, we had that, and it didn't yield any positive result. The Naira keep losing its value against the foreign currency. In fact, analysts even projected that the Naira to the dollar will get to 1,000 Naira by December. But unfortunately for us, it has actually hit the glass ceiling even before the December period. So we never can tell. We don't even know how it's going to be from now till December.
Okay. First of all, if I would delve a little into the Naira redesign policy of the former governor of TPN Emefiele, first of all, I want to say that Emefiele was a clear act of mischief targeted to achieve certain predetermined goals, which he knows better. Because to me, I think there is a popular adage that says that he who fails to plan plans to fail.
Certainly.
Everything in that policy was poorly planned. It was more of a fire brigade approach. Let me take an instance of the UK. In the UK, it is an image of the monarch that is in their currency. And Queen Elizabeth died in 2022. Normally, what's obtainable is that further currencies to be printed will carry the image of King Charles.
Yes.
So it should be a gradual process to print it out. And the way of the advancement and development and so on, there also help to generate corruption and so on.
Mm.
They should have also ensured that all the banks in the country improve on their network and their technology to ensure that transfers are done without delay. Sometimes there will be no network for transfer. Business people in the villages have no network for you to buy local items you need. So I think that process was real costly. I expected Emefiele at that point to have ensured that every business person in the country is mandated to have a POS.
But again, comrade Infam. But again, most of these examples you are citing are the same thing that the current government is doing. You talk about policy implementation, just like you cited example with the UK. They use parallel methodology of implementing a policy, while most times in Nigeria we use direct cut-over approach. In this regard now, some of the basic policies that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has implemented so far are direct cut-over approach, which really, for a developing nation, a developing economy, I think it is very reckless for us to go with direct cut-over approach. It is better for us to go with parallel, that you know that they are working side by side, your new policy with the old one working side by side. After some time, you phase out the old one gradually, and it also gives you more time to even ascertain the workability of your new policy. But unfortunately, in this regard, we had a direct cut over of subsidy removal overnight. After some days, we had the issue of floating of our own currency, talking about the forex, and it's also a direct cut over approach. So, I mean, this is what this administration is also known for.
Yeah, I think you are right to an extent.
Mm.
If you look at, I also quoted the government, the manner in which the subsidy was removed.
Mm.
I have been a strong advocate of removal of subsidy. However, there should have been certain modalities in place before you do that. You cannot just get up and remove subsidy overnight without certain adequate preparation and planning towards that. For instance, the government should have had a plan before removing subsidy in order to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. One, the reason why we kept on, the government keeps on subsidizing is because of failure on the part of previous administrations to ensure that our refineries are functional. So I expected that the government should have come up with a blueprint or a time frame whereby some of these abnormalities would have been corrected. First of all, if the government decides to do that, the government should have been able to say, okay, for instance, in each of the 36 states of the country, we have 724 LG. Let's ensure that we have 100 bottles per LG to cushion the effect of transportation. The government will also be able to say, okay, within so time frame, our refinery should be fixed and put in place so that the price of fuel, the cost of production will reduce, and so the price will also reduce. Sadly, the government decided to come up with the issue of palliative, which I see as a temporary measure, because it is completely wrong and out of place for the government to come up with the issue of giving people rice. The maximum a household will get will be a bag of rice. A bag of rice cannot take a household of 4 people for 2 months, which is completely wrong.
Of course.
So the government, I expected the government wants to remove subsidy. The government should also look at the issue of the power sector. Fix the power sector. If there's constant light, the pressure on fuel will reduce. People will no longer be buying fuel to power their gen. People will be using fuel basically for vehicles alone. If refineries are working, there will be people might not even need gas as such. People will begin to make use of electrical appliances for cooking and so on. And if you look at the 500 billion budget for palliative, the maximum that could be used to fix a modular refinery will be a maximum of 10 billion. So what is wrong for the government to ensure that there's at least one modular refinery in each of the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT? That would be a maximum of 370 billion.
Yes.
And it would have been better. Again, it is a very big shame that a country like Nigeria that is called the giant of Africa somewhere I hail for, and that the only solution is for them to be vandalized and demolished. I expect the government to be able to say, okay, how is it that these people are able to have illegal refinery that refine petroleum products that are being used? It means that the people have a little knowledge that needs to be polished a little. There's a need for such people to be taken abroad. I expect the government to steal those refineries, those people taken abroad for proper training, and the NFPC should monitor the activities of those refineries and license them to operate to also help to cushion the effect of all. But sadly, the government came with a fire brigade approach without proper consultation, planning, and remove subsidy like that. And today, the common man is the one bearing the brunt.
All right, talking about the common man bearing the brunt, now let's move to our next discussion, talking about NLC impending strike action. But before I ask you my question on that, let's open the phone line so that our listener can also join the conversation. If you have any question or you have an opinion you want to share with us on the program, you can do well to call the studio line 0700 010 961 961. I'm going to take that number again, 0700 010 961 961. That is the number to call. You can call us via the studio line, normal call, or you send an SMS. We will certainly read your message, or you use the WhatsApp portal. The same number works for all. You can use it to call us via WhatsApp, or send your voice note, or drop your WhatsApp message. We will also give it a voice. Thank you. And don't forget, this is Front Page Recap on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja, where we are having a very insightful conversation with our guest analyst, or rather, let me use the word Comrade Mfam Mbia Asu, who has been doing justice to our discussion. Is it a member or fellow Chartered Institute of Financial and Investment Analyst, and he's doing really well with our discussion thus far. All right, comrade, let's move to the next one, talking about NLC impending strike. They are saying no going back, talking about NLC and TUC, that they will not have any meeting with the government because they have had series of meetings that did not yield positive outcome. The government has not fulfilled their part of the bargain, and now they are not willing to engage in any form of conversation. There is no going back. On the 3rd of October, there is going to be a nationwide strike. Meanwhile, the Minister of Labour, former Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bakola Long, has appealed to them to be patient. Also, the NEC, after the Executive Council meeting headed by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, also pleaded that they should be patient because most of their concerns will be resolved by the president during his nation's address. That's the Independence Day Nation address. He will address some of their concerns. But what would you say about this issue? On the part of the NLC, a lot of people are saying this is going to ground our already staggering economy, especially the organized private sector, who said they will not be part of it because already the economy is not strong, is suffering from a lot of abnormalities, and you now want to grind everything. It's really gonna be bad for business. What would you say about this stand?
Yes, first of all, I want to say that the NLC as a body,
yes,
has a duty to protect the interests of the Nigerian worker, and by extension, to also ensure that Nigerian work, to also ensure that workers have a better working condition.
All right, I mean, comrade, sorry, I need to hold you here. We have a caller on the line. Let's hear from the caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Voice of the People.
Thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abuja. My name is Gabriel.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear you, please.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank my brother, Comrade Mpamasu, for his explicit idea and opinion about how our nation has been run and where we are now.
All right.
It is very, very worrisome. And it is a very key position where I have to take my point that where we started as a nation and where we are at today, in fact, it is very, 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 very disturbing. Our economy is running too badly, and our managers of the economy are not doing well. Today, I want to really applaud my brother who is a very firm APC stakeholder and who have the courage to criticize the party which he has supported Mr. President for his measures. So I want to really commend him for having that boldness and that courage to criticize the policies being adopted by the fuel subsidy removal. That is very encouraging. We all knew where we are, and all this and that. Before a government will bring out a policy, that policy must be people-oriented policy. For example, but the removal of subsidy has really dealt with the majority of, in fact, 5% of the poor because according to the World Bank, 103 million people are poor in Nigeria. So removing subsidy, and which we know that our economy is solely depending on oil. We were supposed to take proactive measures, to ensure that to embark on fuel removal, subsidy removal, we're supposed to consider the people first. So the government, which I, as a stakeholder of APC, we voted for up for the people's position first. Now you are bringing policies like palliatives and all that. What have you done to ensure that this very hardship that is burning every day on Nigeria, on the common Nigerians? What is the speed? What are we making what is the parameters between? We are talking about 100 days in office, and people have not feel the impact of the new government. Rather, the branch of the government is doing hot bath. How do you judge this? So therefore, I want to make clearly that we are appealing to the government of the day, especially the federal government, to speedily implement policies that are people-oriented, so that the hits on the common man will reduce.
All right, thank you.
By ensuring that fixing the refineries that have been mentioned, they said Port Harcourt refinery will be fixed before December. We keep hearing these stories often and often. They talk about Dangote keep telling us stories upon stories. We don't even know where we are driving at. So therefore, I really thank my brother. He is really representing my interest, and I wish him best. And may God continue to guide us and put Nigeria forward before our own personal interest. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your wonderful contribution there. Lengthy one, but very impactful, and it really reflects the state of the nation. All right, let's continue, please. You heard the caller, and you were talking about the NLC's position as to the action of the government. Let's continue from there, please.
But my advice at this point and the appeal is that they should try to come down. I know that the NLC is comprised of intellectuals, people from different fields, people that knows what is right and what is not right. But at the moment, I'm aware that there is a court order of 5th June from the National Industrial Court.
Yes.
Barring the NLC from embarking on a minister. And if the NLC goes ahead with that strike, which I as a person, ordinarily, I would have supported the strike fully. Because the way things are going, it's not palatable at all, it's not good at all. That everyone should fold his or her hands. For instance, look at our National Assembly members we elect because they want to go on recess. While the ordinary Nigeria cannot afford to square meal again. But nevertheless, we must not justify their action by doing what is wrong. So I will appeal that the NLC should have told the path of legality by stopping their strike, because the law has a way of always taking its course. So if the NLC insists on going on that strike, it's tantamount to violating a substantive court order. And we all know that once the matter is sub judice, it is not correct to discuss that matter.
Of course.
Until after it has been done by the court. So I think the NLC should have a second thought about the issue of strike. Because one of it is not correct at all. If the for the NLC to tow an illegal route in order to get a legitimate response from the government. So the NLC should consider the decision of strike, because if the NLC insists on going on strike on the 3rd of October, it amounts to contempt. And I and you knows the gravity of contempt when it comes to the law. So I'm appealing that the decision of going to strike is a good one. It is for the best interest of the Nigerian worker and the Nigerian. But however, there is a barrier at the moment, which is the court order. They should do everything humanly possible to protect that court order of 5th of October before embarking on the strike. That is my point.
All right, thank you. And we will be taking your position on this final story here that says Umahi locks out workers. Protesters cite hardship for lateness. There was apprehension at the Ministry of Works, Abuja, on Thursday as protesting civil servant grounded activities after the Minister of Works, David Umahi, locked out over 300 staff and directors who resumed work late. The public servant, expressing their displeasure, also confined the minister to his office, demanding an apology from him. Earlier, the minister, upon resumption at 9:30 a.m., was said to have prevented workers who came to work late from gaining access to the ministry for over 4 hours. However, after the gate was open, the workers comprising of both housing and works ministries refused to enter the ministry and resorted to an impromptu protest, barricading the entrance gates. Well, I think you have followed that story, and if you really want to comment, what would you say about that, considering the fact that yes, people are suffering, but again, we need to do our work, and the position of our civil service in this country is really not up there as we would have expected. So what would you say about this incident that took place?
Well, first of all, I want to say that nation building is a collective task. All hands must be on deck for we to succeed as a country. However, the government on its own part was interested in the manner in which the subsidy was removed and without putting in place certain measures to control it. If you look at it today, civil servants spend a large chunk of their salary on transportation.
Of course.
Which is painful. But that does not justify them to come to work late. More attitude to work contribute to part of the challenges we are having. Coming to work late on its own is an offense that is punishable under the public service. Therefore, justifying lateness because of high school of the law was completely wrong. If you look at most of those people that they are either Christians or Muslims. Do they go to church or work late because of the removal of fuel subsidy? Our people won't take advantage of every situation. It's not correct. At the moment, the government have already put us into this mess that everybody is tightening his belt. So the civil servants on their own part should not do that. Okay, let's take an example of teachers. So if teachers, primary and secondary teachers begin to go to work by 12 because of the removal of fuel subsidy, who will bear the brunt? The student. would they be able to cover their scheme of work? No. So that is not a justifiable reason for them to come to play. They are coming late, which is already an offense. They compounded it by locking the minister and demanding for an apology. Totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. It's only in Nigeria that such tendencies will be tolerated.
All right, comrade, as we coast home due to time factor, let's have your parting shots.
Okay, I want to advise that as Nigerians, we should be guided by the spirit of patriotism. As Nigerians, we should always put the collective interest of our nation above our personal interest. If every Nigerian is patriotic, I am confident that Nigeria will work. I doubt if there's any country in the world you will not find one or two Nigerians doing so well. If you go to the US, some Nigerians are in the parliament. You go to the US, in different fields of human endeavor, Nigerians are there. What are my only message to Nigerians is that we should be patriotic, we should love our country, to always do what is right. All hands must be on deck. We should also contribute our country and making this country better. And those in government should also be mindful of their provocative behavior. The government should also, on its own part, to reflect the suffering and hardship they have inflicted on the common man by also cutting down the overhead costs of the occupying public offices. Our National Assembly members and other top government functionaries, their salaries should also be reduced. It is painful in this period of subsidy removal for a worker to be placed on 30,000 minimum wage. You will be surprised to know that there are, in the private sector, there are some people that are paid below 30,000. It's not correct. So government should also look into the issue of the welfare of Nigerians.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Comrade Mfambia Asu, for your wonderful insight, in-depth analysis, and thought-provoking perspective today. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Do have a fantastic weekend ahead. And also to our caller and listeners, we appreciate you. Thank you very much for staying with us. And don't forget that the conversation doesn't end here. You can as well follow us on our social media handles and drop your comments and thoughts on these particular headlines that we have looked at on the program today. Go check us on YouTube, Voice of the People Abuja, and also Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now X, and also Thread at VOP961. We had a good conversation. I personally enjoyed the conversation, and I'm sure you do also enjoy the conversation. Thank you for your time. And top of the hour, we will take another dimension because we will be having another guest who we will be discussing state of the nation, Nigeria's security architecture. Don't move a muscle. It will be quite an interesting program as well. My name is Ali Uduma, and this is Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja. Stay with us and don't change your dial.